Drugs and hentai. 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 And drugs and hentai. 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 I love drugs and I love hentai. Romantic hentai. Futa hentai. Drugs and hentai. Drugs and hentai. Drugs not hentai. Drugs and 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 romantic hentai, futa hentai. Drugs and hentai, drugs and hentai. Drugs and hentai, drugs and hentai, drugs and hentai. Drugs and hentai and drugs drugs and hentai. I love drugs and I love hentai. Romantic hentai, futa hentai. Drugs and hentai, drugs and hentai, drugs and hentai, drugs and hentai. I love drugs and I love hentai. Romantic hentai, futa hentai. Drugs and hentai, 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 and drugs and hentai. I love drugs and I love hentai. Romantic